So welcome to the channel again. My name is Ritanshu and this is in continuation of web app theory. So in this video I'm going to demo how to create a web app, how to host, how to use web apps platform as a services, scale out, little bit diagnostics and CI/CD pipelines. So first I'm going to create a .NET app. So let's just go to the template, ASP.NET Core Web App. So I'm just naming it demo web app for Azure. No authentication type, no. .NET 3.1 correct, no Docker. Okay, I have just created the project. So I have created the app. Now I am going to create a web app on the Azure portal. So I've just logged into the Azure portal and going to create a app service. So you can see new app service, subscription, whatever I already have. I'm just creating a new resource group, web app, demo web app 2021 test. The name is available. Now just I want you all to make a notice when we are selecting the runtime stack. Suppose I have selected .NET 3.1. As 3.1 is supported by the Linux and Windows both, so both are enabled. If any environment what I am selecting is applicable for one specific OS, the second will be disabled. Like ASP.NET 3.5 is applicable only for the Windows, that's why Linux is disabled. Same way, if I just go for the maybe PHP, I don't know, no. So anything which is not Ruby. So for Ruby 2.6, Windows is not applicable, so Windows is disabled. So that intelligence Azure is providing. So I have just selected 3.1 as I have created our application on .NET Core 3.1. Now the same plan has been created because it is the first app. You can always choose your plan if on the same plan you want to create a different web app. Now review and create. We have a next is deployment also. As I told, we can create our CI/CD things here. So if I enable this, we have to provide a GitHub account which is linked here, and we have to provide the repository information so that my Azure is going to pick the code from that repository and deploy. So as per now, I have not connected our code to the repository. That's why I am just not disabling this. So for monitoring also, you can give the information whether you required application insights or not. By default, it has yes, but you can always mention it to no. Now I am going to click on review and create and create. So it will be created. So we can see our deployment is completed. Now switching into the Visual Studio and going to publish that code into this web app. So just go and right click on the publish, select Azure, select app services, Windows or Linux, whatever you want, because it's supported both. Just if you have logged in on the same account which your Visual Studio is having, then the resources what you have created there, it will be listed into your ID. So I'm just selecting this and finish it. Now publish. All the necessary files and DLL will be added there on the web app. So you can see first it will build, then it will be adding all the necessary files and DLLs over there. So it is adding directories, it will add the DLLs, it will add all the necessary files what is required to run the application. So this is giving the URL also. We can go and test that. So we can see this application is working. We have not installed any web server over there. Everything has been provided by the web app what we have created. So it has reduced our effort to create the environment for this application. All the hosting environment has been created by web app itself to run this application. Now I'm going to create a Git repository for this application so that we can see the automatic picking up from this Git repository and deploying it to the Azure. So I'm just going here and create Git repository. As I have already connected this Visual Studio to my GitHub repository account. So now I am creating it and pushing the code over there. Now when code is pushed, we will go to the Azure portal and configure that CI/CD pipeline for the GitHub repository. Go to the resource. I will go to the deployment center. We'll select the core source. As my GitHub is connected to this Azure account, I'm just selecting the app. This is my repository, demo web app for Azure. You can select the branch. I just selected the branch. Runtime stack is .NET and 3.1. Now save this. Now just to check, I am going to change some code here and see whether the change code is publishing automatically or not. So I'm just saving it, committing the changes, and pushing it to the Git. Now pushing it to the Git. So you can see we have successfully pushed our code there. Now go to the Azure portal and see. So we can see as we have changed the code, the build process has been initiated and it is in process. So when it will be done, then we can check whether the difference has been published or not. We can verify that. For detail, we can click over here and see what exactly is happening. So if you see, it is in process and it is in on the deployment in process. Build is already done. In the meantime, we can go and see the sources, what all the things are available for us to do. So if we just see here, we have a scale up process. Here we can scale up our configurations, physical device, by increasing the memory, by increasing the ECU, by increasing the CPU. We can do the scale up process. Scale out is nothing but, as we told previous lecture, scale out is to increase the instance. Currently we have only one instance. We can always increase this, and we have two options, whether manual or custom. So manual, we will see whether the load has been increased, and accordingly we can change the instance. One app plan, we have a basic plan, so maximum 10 instances I can do that. We can see the run history and all here. In the configure, if you go to the custom auto scale, we can give some conditions, like we can provide some rules. So if you go and add the rules, you can see we have a different criteria on the basis of what is the CPU percentage, or what is the queue length for HTTP, what is the disk queue length. On this basis of criteria, we can always put some rules and give whether the instance has to be increased or decreased. On the basis of the rules, the scaling out process will be happening. In next thing, if you see, we have the diagnostics. Azure is providing lot of features to control or to visualize what exactly is happening on the web app. See, we can see all the events, we can diagnose and solve the problem. We have a deployment slots, what we have discussed in the previous lecture. We can add the slots, and accordingly we can swap if one slot has to be swapped to the different slots. So application insights, using this we can see what exactly is happening into the application. So this is, if you see, we can see using the profiler, we have a snapshot debugger. So all in one, we have a lot of features to explore in the web apps, and those all the things will be controlled by the Azure. We have to just concentrate our business logic and deploy those code to the web app. All the supported environments, all the supported things will be provided by the Azure. So we were seeing our code has been deployed or not. So just go to the deployment center and logs. Oh, we can see it is success now. So now if I go and refresh this, it is welcome 123. So the new code, we have not deployed manually, we have not gone anywhere, we have just committed our changes, and the new changes has been reflecting into the website. So if in any case we don't want these changes to be deployed under the production, then we have to create a different slots, and on the basis of the slots, these changes will be reflecting. Thank you. This is all about the Azure App Service. For more, you can always go to the Microsoft documentation and explore.